Hey everyone, I'm Derek with Denise Audio, and we're going to take a look at Bass XXL. Making use of a proprietary algorithm, Bass XXL gives producers the power to supersize and refine the low end of anemic bass performances, drum recordings, and mixes with surgical precision. By generating harmonics on and above the frequency you want to enhance, Bass XXL takes advantage of a psychoacoustic phenomenon called the phantom fundamental. But that ominous-sounding term is nothing to fear. This merely causes the human brain to interpret sub-bass audio more based on its harmonics as opposed to the actual lowest sounds being produced. So while you listen to music on earbuds or tiny laptop speakers that can't produce sub-bass frequencies, your brain will fill in the low-end blanks as long as the proper harmonics are present. Thanks to the phantom fundamental, Bass XXL is the perfect tool for crafting fully realized mixes with smooth, consistent low-end that can be felt through any speakers. Let's see how Bass XXL works. As with all Denise Audio plugins, Bass XXL gets right down to business with a minimal, resizable interface that puts all of its intuitive controls front and center. The first thing you'll notice is Bass XXL's dynamic visualizer graph. Your track's dry signal is represented by the dark line, while the white line displays the harmonics that Bass XXL is adding to your audio in real time. The graph is zoomed in specifically to the portion of the spectrum relevant to working with bass, avoiding any clutter that isn't critical to the plugin's singular purpose. But you can click on the magnifying glass at any time to reference the big picture. The root knob allows you to zero in on the exact frequency where you want Bass XXL's harmonic generation to begin. You can do this by frequency or by selecting the root note of your audio. If you need to achieve an unprecedented level of precision, Bass XXL also tracks Midi. So even if a virtual instrument you're working on deviates from the root or undergoes a key change, you can rest assured that the harmonics being generated will remain complementary to your project. The harmonics knob puts you in control of how intensely Bass XXL's harmonics are being generated. The plugin's algorithm combines the smoothness of analog saturation with the precision you'd expect from today's digital effects and has been painstakingly designed to make your low end sound rich and beefy. It allows you to add harmonics without any noticeable increase in gain, so you can take note of how it's affecting your track without any distracting jumps in volume. Beneath the knob, you have the option to turn on oversampling to further improve the plugin's performance. The mix knob on the right controls how much of Bass XXL's effect you'll hear. This is purely a mix-in function as the plugin creates its own parallel signal path alongside your dry audio, which remains completely unaffected and totally free of any phasing issues whatsoever. You can use the global output slider to compensate for any additional volume that results from increasing the mix. The solo button beneath the mix knob lets you take a listen to just Bass XXL's harmonic output. A pre-delay parameter lets you decrease the attack of the plugin to preserve the clarity of the transients in your dry signal. This is great for retaining the sound of a picked bass guitar or the all-important impact of a kick drum while still adding thickening harmonics immediately after. The mono knob allows you to preserve a track's stereo image. This can be helpful while working with lush synth pads or dealing with outside-the-box mixing challenges. The slope parameter lets you determine how quickly Bass XXL's harmonics are cut off. A gradual slope setting offers an analog feel with more presence in the mid-range, while a steeper setting results in a more noticeable digital effect. The range parameter lets you decide how many octaves you want Bass XXL's harmonics to span, starting from the root note's target frequency. Opting for a lower range will keep the plugin's effect contained to a more targeted bass boost. Now that we know everything we have to work with, let's take a quick look at some use case scenarios to see how Bass XXL can help you sculpt your sound. For this drum loop, let's say we want to add some weight to a kick drum sample that needs some serious help. We'll use the root knob to target the kick at around 65 Hz, and then mix in the plugin's effect to our liking. Let's unmute the rest of the loop, and then slightly adjust the pre-delay knob to let the kick's attack shine through. Here's the loop before treatment, and here it is after. Here we have a picked bass guitar that is missing some key frequencies we need to really feel the performance. I'll start by selecting No under the root knob, and then zeroing in on the key of the track. I'll add more harmonics to the track, and then mix them in. Then I'll make some fine adjustments to the pre-delay, slope, and range parameters. Here we have Bass XXL bypassed, and now engaged. Finally, let's use Midi to see how Bass XXL remains on target on a synth bass. With Midi selected under the root knob, you can see how the notes on the track are affecting where the plugin begins its harmonic generation. You can see how automating Bass XXL via Midi allows you to accommodate any unusual scales or unexpected notes. Thanks so much for joining me and checking out Bass XXL. To learn more and to download a free demo, head on over to deniseaudio.com.